internet to look up anything you want to learn about. You know how I know they know that? It's because these same people, if they want to know where the next party at, or the club, or who did this flyer, who you go to for this, or who's selling the crab trays, or who, they know how to look it up, right? They know how to find out where the local Social Security office is and get a new Social Security card, or the vital statistics, get a new birth certificate to go down there and file these kids as your dependent. They know how to use the internet to look up what time this place open, what time they close, how to call, find out if they got some more lemon pepper wings. They know, right? And so, yes, they know. They're choosing not to do better. And because we are so accepting in our community that a bitch did the best they could.
Let me talk about my mama. My mama was a good mama. She did the best she could. I'll say that.
We don't like to say flat out, you did not do the best you could. You did what the fuck you wanted to do. That made you feel good for instant gratification to satisfy your flesh in the moment. And that is why we grew up poor. That is why we're going to struggle again this year like last year. That is why we have no assets. That is why you and this person can't get along, because y'all are choosing not to know any more than what you know now, even though you do know that you need to know more. Does everybody understand this?
Yep.
Yes, absolutely.
These are the realities that we don't like to talk about, because it doesn't feel good to say, I knew last year around the same time that I was supposed to do different with my money, and I just chose not to. I chose to go buy some designer, or I chose to eat my money all up, order it out. I chose to go on a trip. I chose to tell myself that me and my kids going vacation and we going to have some experiences, knowing all this shit going to come back to bite us, because when they get older, we have nothing. There is no real reason. And this is why we have to guilt trip each other with titles to get kids and younger people to fuck with the elders and vice versa, because we make these decisions that don't have anything to do with unifying and building assets, wealth, anything like that. And so when your kids get older, all you got is the your mama.
Let me talk about my mama. My mama was a good mama. She did the best she could. I'll say that.
Don't do that. You know that's your mama. You can't do, now that's your daddy. Now you got that's all you got. You ain't built shit worth a person saying, you know what? I need to maintain a healthy relationship with my parent, because we have this family business tied together. We have these future goals tied together. I have these plans for 3 years from now that we all are going in on. And so we need to nurture and maintain healthy relationship. It ain't that. It's you got to guilt trip them with the title, or bring up what you did for them when you was raising them, right? In order to get them to answer the phone for you or come back and fuck with you. Do y'all understand this?
Yeah, I thought about you when I read about Glorilla and her family. I thought about you, Love Dorsey, and I started laughing because her family feel entitled because she made it that she's supposed to pay all their bills, and she got 9 other siblings and her mama and her daddy, and you know,
my friends, they some gangster females, so
right.
They tough themselves to their own security. They gonna whoop somebody's ass.
I just thought that we as black people, we really, really be thinking that. We really think that we are entitled to other people's stuff, that we don't have to learn for ourselves, that we don't have to get it ourselves, that if one of us get it, we all got it, instead of us trying to each one get it so that we all can have it. So I definitely thought about you, Love, when that came out.
That's the Black American way.
Yep.
That's what the parents teach. Of course, the kids and the siblings are going to think that that's what parents teach. They teach that because I raised you up good, if you make it, you got to take care of me, to the point where people will shame other people for not taking care of another grown person that made choices that landed their life how it went. It's to the point now where parents will make you believe they went through what they went through because you exist, when you only exist because they chose to do the things that they did.
Right.
It's a very delusional viewpoint. And this is why when you listen to what I was saying earlier, right? You have grown black men that are in a limbo space of building their own family. They got 1 foot with their mama and 1 foot with their wife, because the mother has the viewpoint that because I raised you, you got to make sure you forever take care of me. And then you have other black men that will challenge this, conversation with the aspect that, yeah, man, you got to take care of his mama because that's your mama and such. But the idea is, when you look at how family is supposed to operate in regards to how the younger generations tie into, or, as a future aspect, how they relate and stay united with the older generation, ain't none of the shit being done for it to be relevant besides the fact of guilt tripping one another. I'm your mama, title, and I did these things for you. And the absence of a father will make the validity of these things feel more factual, right? So if your daddy wasn't around, right, based on choices that he and I made, right, I'm gonna make you just believe by default I was left to handle this at no fault of mine. It's just a default, right? And so this allows me to use the mama title and the idea of what I did for you, right, to make you then feel like you're forever indebted to me. And so any woman you try to go and build a life with, you're only going to be half there. The other half will be here with me. And there will be a lot of things that will put you in a position where it's almost uncomfortable to commit. Does everybody understand this?
Yep.
Yeah.
And the women that look at him like he just such this mama's boy, but in our reality, that's what it be.
In our culture, we teach this. We defend this. It ain't just mamas. Hell, it's been embedded in the way that we believe family should operate, that you will have other grown men argue with you about what they got to do for their mama because that's their mama. As if mama's choices didn't set things up along with dad's choices for shit to be the way it is. We have a very much, it's the father's fault. And this is why when, like Chanel shared, when you hear somebody say, oh, your mama a hoe or this or that, you go straight to the emotional aspect and overlook all the facts that, you know what, there was a time in your adult life as a woman that you was behaving like a hoe, dressing like a hoe, talking like a hoe, entertaining hoe shit, messing with hoe ass niggas, allowing a nigga to get full access to you in a whole amount of time. Meaning it wasn't no standards. It wasn't no, it was just the idea we struck a vibe and we started fucking and then I got pregnant. And so when somebody calling it what it is, now they doing something to you because emotionally you don't have an IQ to look after yourself. And it's the same for men. There are a lot of men that they call it by my respect, but really, dude, you're just a crash out. You don't have an IQ, a single brain cell that was ever developed in a space of managing yourself, discipline with your feelings, that all you do is crash the fuck out when people say things or stuff go on that you don't fucking like. You call it disrespect, but really it's mismanagement of your emotions. Ain't nobody doing shit to you but being they self. You believe, like I explained earlier, that control is the way to leveling out the environment, and it's not. Acceptance of the way the world works is you find balance in accepting the concept that there will be a lot of shit that goes on in the world, in life, within family, in dating situations, in co-parenting situations, on jobs, in business, that you are not in control of. And it will make you feel some type of way. And you have to accept that I can't do anything about it happening. I can do only something about what I do with these feelings. My next choice or move.
Yeah.
We call it disrespect because it is an easy way to make the ignorant parts of our community accept that what I did was something I had to do. They didn't leave me no choice. Does everybody understand this?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anybody else got a question centered around the conversation that we're having?
I have a question, love. So, because I know you, and so basically it's like
Yes, you need to date.
you gain it, you gain information about the person you're dating, but like, it's like, how do you know when it's intentional dating? Like, how is the communication supposed to be? Like, are y'all supposed to be talking every day? Like, I'm just trying to, because I'm getting back out and I'm dating and I'm not trying to put like a high expectation on, anybody, like I'm just trying to experience them and get to know them. So like, is there like any like rules or You know, I'm just trying to gather information on that.
Let's talk about the mentality in our community or the mindset centered around dating, right? Most people end up with who they end up with because they go for whoever has the most time for them. That's one. In the dating community, we have a mindset or a belief that, you know, the person that's for me is the one that has the most time for me, right? And while time plays a part of it, it is not the deciding factor, right? And this is part of the reason why a lot of us end up with people that they had the time, right? And that same had the time end up being the reason why you went through a lot of the bullshit that you went through. Because they didn't have enough going on that actually mattered for the time that they spent with you to matter the way it needed to. Does this make sense to y'all? Just that one statement.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
There are a lot of us that the type of time that a motherfucker had for us, it filled certain voids that we had in regards to our childhood traumas or deficiencies. So as a young woman, if you grow up, right, and in your experience as a child with adults in relationships, you lacked attention or validity from a space of being nurtured or cared for or loved by a male parent figure. As soon as you find a nigga that, whether it's a small amount of time or a lot of time, the shit fills those voids, you will believe this is the person that I need to choose. And this is why a lot of us fuck fast and think later. We think very slow. We fuck very fast. And it's not because we just stupid and hoish. There are things about ourselves that we don't understand. It's trauma. And so whatever makes us feel, right, like a void is being filled in, right? I'm finally getting what I needed. It will then move us. So back to your original question, when you are dating, right? Because if you're not in a committed relationship, you should be dating, right? And you should be casually dating. Remember, I tell y'all about the stages of dating. You should be casually dating. This is where I do conversate, and from a fun and flirtatious and social space, I interact with multiple people. And I'm not looking for who has the most time and who can make me feel the fastest. I'm looking for whose lifestyle, goals, their character aligns with my lifestyle, my goals, my character. Now, in order to do this, you have to have a certain sense of reality for your character, your goals, your lifestyle. The dating pool is not watered down. You just don't know how to date. There are things wrong with you that you have not acknowledged, came to grips with, understood. There's stuff about your character, your lifestyle, your delusion, right? In regards to how the world works that you have not educated yourself on. It's called awareness, right? Your ability to understand and see you for who and what you truly are. This is why y'all believe dating is so hard. Anybody ever got in a space where you realize once I worked on me and truly started to put in front of me what matters, which is my words, my thoughts, me managing me, it wasn't hard to meet good people?
Yes, I can do it.
Anybody had that realization?
I have. In the reverse, I had to realize breaking up that I attracted a lot when I had a lot going on for myself. I attracted a lot of people. Like the version of who they fell in love with was the version of me that was busy, was the version of me that was most happiest. And that's what attracted. Once I became only about them, had less crap going on for me, making it about the relationship, that things went downhill. When I came to the realization.
I love what she's saying, because a lot of us don't realize when we meet somebody, right, that we believe is compatible, we then start to change the things about ourselves that attracted a better quality person. And we start to make, like she said, the way that we move, the decisions we make, all about what they got going on. And this is why, especially for women, this is why a lot of us, as soon as you start dating, you lack off or slack off on your self-care. Your goals get pushed. And then as soon as you get out of the relationship, you try to blame it on the nigga, but it was you the whole time. Nobody told you to stop seeing about yourself, to run behind this man. Nobody told you to lower your standards on this or stop planning your time a certain. Nobody told you that you did these things on your own. And all you did once you broke up with the dude is got back to what you never was supposed to get off of. You made those choices. He didn't make you do that. Men rise to the occasion. So if you're ever dealing with a man, if you hold your standards and you hold yourself accountable to what you want for your lifestyle, how you want your character to be, how you want things to be in regards to what you choose to have going on in your world, your environment, that man, if he truly cares about you, he will rise to those standards. Men are very capable, especially black men. They are very capable. And a lot of them are, we don't give them enough credit for being able to truly get in and adapt, right? Based on what they want. A lot of them were raised where the opinion leaders in their families were women. And so they can read the fuck out of a woman's energy, their attitudes, their wants and things without you knowing. But a lot of us get in a space where we take our eye off of our character, our standards, the lifestyle we want for ourselves. And we start to put it more onto what the nigga doing, how the nigga moving, what he got going on with his character, his life. And so it then becomes all about what's going on with him. And you start to look a certain way. And so now
Can I share
there are
something?
certain
Oh, I'm
things
sorry.
coming. Now there are certain things coming out of this man that you ain't attracted to, right? But the frequency you vibrating on is what's attracting this shit. Men will rise to the standards, to the occasion, to the necessities of a woman that they truly care about. There's two lessons in what I'm saying. If they don't truly care about you, you're not going to see them rise to the standards, to the occasion. Does everybody understand this?
I understand.
Yes, thank you.
I seen that on the outside looking in with my sister's relationship. She had got a divorce and everything, and she was single for a while. Then when this other guy came along, he kind of matched her energy, but she still kept focused on what she had to do for herself as far as her real estate business, her brokerage, and all of these things. And what he did to the relationship is sit there and try to make sure that he was equal to what she was doing, or trying to better himself more than that so that he could be at the same with her so that relationship could actually work. And it does work as I can see, but I seen how he decided that, oh, this relationship, I'm feeling her and this is what I want. So I'm going to upgrade myself and level up so I can be at her level or better so that this relationship could really work.
And I'm going to tell y'all something. When I say men are very capable of rising to the occasion, it's based on what they want for their life, where they see themselves with this person. And so there are times where you can be on your shit and that man don't want that. He does not want to integrate that. And we will try to force it. We will try to force the want. We will try to force the person into seeing the value in who and what we are and what we have going on. And this is where you ruin your own life as a woman. A lot of us struggle to accept when a nigga don't want to rise to the occasion of what we believe is a catch. Go ahead, to the person who said, can I say something?
Oh, I was gonna make a point to what you were saying about how men can read women. So I grew up the baby of two older sisters and my mom. And especially after my parents divorced, then it was me. It was three of us. It was my mom, my sister, and me. So I grew up learning how to maneuver in a household where it's dominated by women.
Yep.
So it's like a lot of times when I initially meet somebody or I be attracted to them, it be from a pure intent. I want to move forward with this person. But since I know how to read women so well, I see your behaviors don't align with where I want to go. How you would get in the way of me getting what I want. But since I'm still a man and I got attraction to women, I'm still going to deal with you. So you going to get you going to eventually you get mad.
If we give you the pussy during this space?
I'm going to continue to take it. Like, because I'm not doing anything to you. Like, I still like you in a way. It's just not going to go to where you're hoping it's going to go because you won't acknowledge anytime a conversation comes up where you're the problem, you deflect from it, You blame shift. It's all of these things that come up within the behavior of you. It's not that I don't have the ability to provide. It's you don't allow me. You get in the way of my provision.
I love the way that he's explaining it. I'm gonna tell y'all something. Part of why he knows these things, because I'm telling y'all, especially in our community where men are being raised in families where the opinion leaders are women, they know how to read certain things that you don't think they know how to read. Because remember what I explained about childhood. When you grow up where I'm just being raised by a mom, you learn to survive in the household based on reading her energy, her emotional cues, what's going on with her. So a lot of niggas, 14, 15, you don't know it, but they know how to read a bitch energy. And they can tell when certain stuff is off and certain shit is going on. And if you have goals for yourself as a man or certain things you're trying to do, all of this stuff starts to look like a threat to that. And oftentimes you can't even control it. It's almost like how people say they're empath and they notice or they feel certain things or they get this energy on, without trying to. A lot of niggas get around and it's certain stuff they know about your ways that you trying to tell a nigga, I ain't like that. But he can tell you like that. There is and I love your honesty, right? Because, the idea of you still shouldn't sleep with her knowing that women catch feelings. No, as a woman, it is your job, right? Which is why women need fathers in their life. This is why male influence on a girl child growing up is so important, right? You have to understand and I've explained this so many times over so many years. You have to understand there is a nature or a natural thing about us as men and women that you cannot overlook. For women, we are emotional and intuitive by nature. For men, they are lustful and assertive in regards to sex by nature. And the idea is if men aren't around to teach boy kids, male children, how to manage and be disciplined with that. And if women aren't around who are in a space where they can teach a girl child or a female child how to nurture and really lean into their power, which is femininity centered around emotions and intuition, you are going to have an adult male or female that the way that they behave is not going to align with what they want oftentimes, which is why there are a lot of men that they will fuck the shit out of you all while you're not the woman they want in their life. It's also the reason why you see women feel all the feelings in the world for a nigga that ain't good for them. Do y'all understand what I'm explaining?
Yeah. Yes.
These type of conversations are so important because if you don't talk about this shit, it leaves you in a space where you are almost forced to just believe the bullshit. The whole, the dating pool is fucked and, everybody it ain't nobody out here. It ain't no. There are plenty of good people in the world. There are plenty of people working on themselves. There are plenty of people with good intentions. There are plenty of people that you can get with and grow. The idea is, what are you attracting? What frequency are you vibrating on? How well do you hold your standards and hold yourself accountable to the character, the lifestyle, your ability to manage yourself, your self-awareness? Y'all understand what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah. Hey, love, that lead me to a comment. Just for you to touch bases on the psychology part of this, I started taking notes down. Me noticing shit, and I just started speaking into the notes. And one thing that came across my mind was how quickly I would move. I don't want to say our community, me. I'm just keeping it at me. Would move on some negative bullshit versus on some positive. So what I end up writing, and y'all don't judge me. Why is it that I am more comfortable taking $250 in credit card advances or whatever, and I feel more comfortable to buy like weed, dope, whatever, right? I'm just giving an example for us in the Black community. Then to take all that credit and go buy 3 houses.
and I asked myself, who have scarred me from the positivity and encouraged me for the negativity? And I was just looking back like, that's not what I'm about to do. But back in the days, I would be game to do that. I would have more confidence in going to do that than actually saying, okay, how can we take some bread and really make money, when it would have been no question on the negativity, I would have did that. And then I have noticed about myself, I would rather have paid all my bills and let that available credit be sitting there than to take that and bust a move, and only thing it cost me is debt. Whereas the latter, I don't put myself in prison, affected my family by being away, but yet I was so much more comfortable with that versus only thing it would cost me is debt. That's it. And you got 7, if the Lord bless you with 7 years, that's going to be gone. And so I was just wondering, like, I'm going to bring it up to my therapist, but I said, I'm going to bring it up to Love first, because she's going to give me the black perspective. And then, I know it's about me.
No,
Me and my daughter was talking about.
I'm gonna give you the informed psychology perspective. So one of the things you have to understand, the same thing I was just talking about when I was talking about dating, there are certain things that occur naturally within humans. So when we talk about psychology, right, it is a natural and normal thing based on survival for your mind to go to the threat first, right? Most people who don't understand psychology, understanding the way the human mind works and how we behave, behavioral science, as humans in regards to survival, right? And so just pure survival, none of these ideologies that have to do with where we're at today, but just pure survival. I don't care if you was alive, living in the jungle, or you live in a big city. Our mind automatically, naturally is wired to pick out what looks like a threat, something that is danger, fear. And so in order to become, if we use the living in the jungle example, in order to become civilized, so to speak, you have to truly understand this as a fact and train yourself, learn yourself, teach yourself to combat that. Naturally, my mind is going to go to what the fuck could go wrong, because this is how we protect ourselves. It's a thing we have about ourselves so that we don't walk around dumbfounded, right? You assess the room, the life, the choices, the options you have. And if you don't know this, you will just keep going to, well, I'm going to make the safest decision. I'm going to go with what does not bring me fear, what does not feel like danger, what does not feel like it's a threat to my survival. You have to discipline yourself, inform yourself to make choices otherwise. So, depending on what environment you grew up in, it will look like the safe thing to do because it is familiar, right? And your mind will go here automatically to take the money you just came into and go buy some dope and flip that, as opposed to the other things that you described. Do you understand just that part?
Yeah, I do. I recognize the familiarity of it versus, yeah.
The other aspect is, and I talk to a lot of y'all kids about this in the teen book club meeting. I talked about being informed, going to your parents and being assertive and letting them know, hey, I know you got your ways about how you plan on raising me, but I want to be an informed child so I can grow up and be an informed adult. I told y'all kids to go say this to y'all, right? And so a part of being informed is making sure that, as I do certain things that based on culture and society, I'm told is the right thing to do or to have, I inform myself of how I can utilize this to better my future. Credit as a perfect example. People are now knowing more and more that I need a good credit score. I need a good credit score. I need a good credit score. I often come across people that I already got a good credit score. I'm at a 750. I'm at an 800. I'm at, a 725. My credit good, right? They have no clue. They have no emotional capacity to utilize the credit score for what will maximize the gain, right, from this. All they know is to have it and go around bragging about it. And you go back to the psychology of what I just said. This is what they believe they're supposed to do. Just have it. And so they are no different than somebody with a 420 or a 500 credit score, right? Reason being is because you are not informed. You don't know what the fuck to do with it. And so your life doesn't look too much different from the person with the 530 credit score that is living paycheck to paycheck and working just like you, or maybe with a little bit of money saved up just like you. You don't know what to do with it. So you are not what you believe you are, but the psychology of it, the survival behind it, is just telling you that I should have it and use it based on what I need it for in regards to danger or fear. So this is how, when you hear people say it's better to have it and not need it than to not have it at all. So I have the 800 credit score. I have the 750 credit score. Don't know nothing about how to use it. Don't have the emotional capacity or the discipline or the courage to take the risk and use it for what will truly maximize, right, my lifestyle and my abilities. All I know is just to have it. And for the sake of it sitting on top of fear and danger, I know I got it if I ever need it. Do y'all understand what I'm saying?
Right. Being comfortable with just paying bills versus being in a space of, it ain't about being able to pay your bills, it's about keeping that money coming in. It's the consistent income from multiple streams of income.
Yeah, but then there are truly, but I'm gonna tell you, truly being informed is not just, oh, I know where I can go to get credit funding. I can pay somebody. I can do it myself. It is understanding the strategies, the tools, the tricks, the tips, the game, right, centered around it. So there are people that know how to fix credit. Great. Your credit's fixed, right? There's nothing negative on there. But your profile might not be the score, may be good, right? But your profile might not be enough for you to touch certain monies. Then there are people that the profile is clean and it does have enough well-roundedness to it for them to be able to touch funding, but they don't know what to do with funding. They don't know how to liquidate a credit card. They don't know how to get a loan, take from the loan a year's worth of payments, set it aside so that you are guaranteed to have 12 months of an aged account paid on time, use the rest to invest. And by the time you are ever actually paying back any payment on the loan with your own money, you have already invested and started turning a profit off of the money. They don't know that. They don't know about going to a car lot, purchasing a vehicle with a credit card, leaving with the title. So you don't have to worry about getting full coverage insurance or making a car payment that's higher than the minimum credit card payment. They don't, the fear of carrying the debt or what it's going to do to my score at first when it get on there, it's going to drop it as if you could never bring the score. These are the things where I'm talking about being informed in between. You don't understand about credit partners where I can have all the debt going on right now and it could look like I got to get my utilization down to touch any more credit funding or anything like that. But guess what? I got credit partners. I got a homegirl, a homeboy, or somebody that I've nurtured a relationship with that they have good credit and cards with the utilization already down. They take their credit, pay off my debt for me to go bust these moves. And when I'm done busting these moves, I go back and buy my debt back. These are strategies, game, tools, tips. You won't know because you ain't informed. You're just operating out of fear and survival. Do y'all understand what I'm saying?
Yes, when you gonna have that right there?
Yes.
Some stuff is about what you know. Some stuff is about who you know. Some things have to do with what you are able to show up and be able to sell on, right? Because having a salesman side is an American way. When we talk about dating, a lot of times you don't realize your experience with dating should have helped you develop certain elaborate social skills about yourself. And a lot of us, we go into a space where, again, off of fear, based on what we've been through, lack of education, lack of self-care, you just tell yourself like the dating pool is fucked and ain't nobody good out there and I keep running into these no good ass women or niggas and that's just that. Does everybody understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Inform yourself. And you don't just inform yourself by reading. You inform yourself by doing. You inform yourself by meeting. You inform yourself by traveling. You inform yourself by taking risks. You inform yourself by making mistakes. In order to make a mistake, you have to be comfortable with making a choice that is not familiar to you. Most people making the decisions that are already familiar to them. They choose the option that they're familiar with. And naturally, through psychology, through understanding how the human mind works and behavioral science, this is normal. In order to do the abnormal, in order to do what is outside of what you normally do, you have to be willing to challenge your current beliefs. The shit you got from your mama and them. But you know, in the black community, oh, you can't go against what mama said. Or you can't say your mama didn't do it right. Can't say your mama didn't know right. Or daddy didn't know right. Do y'all understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is truly a conversation of growing the fuck up mentally. It's not hard to change the trajectory of your life. It is not hard for you to change your financial situation. It's not hard to pay down the debt you're in. It's not. It's the thoughts that you think that tell yourself how to behave and what is available to you and what's not. You create your reality based on the thoughts you have in your mind, the stuff that you believe, the way that you wake up and view shit. Your life changes in your head first. Most of us can't organize what's in our head. And that is truly why we don't have the life that we want. It is not because of shit going on externally. It ain't because your kids, your baby daddy, your mama them, your baby mama, the last relationship you was in, the people on your job. It is your viewpoint, your mindset, the way that you see things, how you process shit. That is what you have to go challenge. See, we go out and we challenge and confront and go see about external stuff. The shit you got to go get active with is that shadow work. The stuff that's going on within you. That's what's attracting the stuff that's coming into your life. And the sooner you honest with yourself about this, the faster you will get to a space of attracting better. When you truly start to understand shit is not just happening to you. From the farts that's coming out your ass, to the shit that's coming out your mouth, to the amount of times you blink, to how many hairs you got on your motherfucking head. None of that shit is happening just by chance. What you eat, remember we eat through our eyes, we eat through our mouth, we eat through our ears, we eat through our skin, we eat through our energy. What you let the fuck in your environment, what you let around you, all that shit has the ability to affect the way your future, your present looks. Thus your past as well. What you sit up and entertain, what you're attracted to. Remember I talked to y'all about preferences, right? We got our preferences from the shit we've been through. A lot of y'all, how sexual we are or we aren't, it has to do with the stuff that happened to us, right? That was in childhood, our early adult experiences with relationships and sex and our bodies and the shit that we've seen. You got to challenge your own motherfucking perspectives, your own preferences, the shit you like. We be busy challenging what the next motherfucker like. Challenge yourself about why you like the shit you like, down to the sexual positions you like, the type of hoes you like, the type of niggas you like, the type of conversations you like. What gets you going? What do you care to entertain in regards to conversations and what you like to eat, what you put in your body, what you take in, what you like to say, the ways that you like to express yourself? All these things are the telltale signs of why your life looked the way it looked. Feelings. Why do certain emotions matter to you more than others? Why do you struggle to lean into what makes you truly, right, better in action in regards to emotion? Why do you feel so convicted to act in certain ways off of the negative, heavy emotions and not the ones that push you into a space of making choices based on logic and facts? Do y'all understand what I'm explaining?
Yeah.
This is the stuff that we don't want to look at. We don't want to look at now. Why I like the type of women I like? Why am I attracted to that? Why do I like the type of men that I like? Why do I like the type of food that I remember growing up, my family is from the country. Baby, I grew up, we eat everything wild. And I was raised, I told y'all, young. I watched the food get killed. It was just that fresh. I watched them slaughter the pigs. They cook it. Next thing you know, the pork is on the plate. I watched the chickens. They cut the head off, hold it upside down by the legs, tied in the tree, drain all the blood, pluck the feathers, clean that motherfucker up and cut it. It don't taste like the chicken that we're eating now. We ate coon. We ate possum. We ate turtle. We ate snake. Right? We had in our family, we had the wild parties and things like this. Country. So when I got older and I started to confront certain things about my preferences, right? I like my food a certain way. You better cook them greens with that in there. Cut them hog mogs up a certain way and season them up. Give me that Louisiana hot sauce to put on top of it, right? I like my ham glazed like this. My grandma used to make what's called flapjacks, not pancakes, flapjacks. This shit tastes like sweet bread in the form of a fucking pancake. Right? I like biscuits. When my grandma cooked, we ain't had no one meat. You gonna get the bacon. It was a thick bacon. Not that shit y'all buy at the grocery store where it's thinly sliced and processed through a machine. No, you gonna get the bacon. Well, you got to fry that motherfucker a long time for that bitch to be hard. Thick to a certain level. We got the bacon. We got the sausage. We ain't just get one type of sausage. We got the Uncle John's sausage. We got the sausage links. We got the pan sausage, the one she used to cook in the oven on a pan. We got the biscuits on top of the flapjacks. She got the grits going. She'll make you some oatmeal if you wanted to. Put some fruit in it. And this is how we ate. And so for me, when I'm grown and I'm challenging myself, like, why you eat the way you eat, right? Just genuinely asking myself, I ate like that because that's what I was raised to believe was good eating. Until I started to educate myself, informed, right? Let me see what my body does with these particular food. Good in a motherfucker. Never take that from it. It always tastes good. From the time I tasted it at 1 or 2 to now, it still tastes good, right? I don't eat that anymore after I inform myself about what it does to me. When I start to look at my family, I love my grandma to death. I kill a bitch about my grandma. God rest her soul. But guess what? The food she ate caused us heart disease, diabetes, kidney issues, right? And this is when you realize, damn, okay, that's why grandma wore them long dresses and the socks up there where you couldn't see her legs. If you catch in the room with the dope clothes, you can see that her skin, different colors on her legs. It almost looked like when you waste bleach on a black shirt or something like that. It's discolored and spotted like that, like she got vitiligo or something, but she don't, right? You watching how they move and you seeing. I remember watching my grandma. She's sitting in her chair watching TV, watching the stories, guiding light and all of that. And she rubbing on. I'm wondering why she keep rubbing on her wrists and why she be hiding her hands down where her thighs at and shit. Oh, you got arthritis, bad. It's shit going on. And you ain't, and I'm wondering why every time I see my daddy take my grandma to the doctor, I'm watching they arguing in the car before he take her in there. She telling him, don't tell the doctor what the fuck I said about my arm hurting or about this. She don't want the people to give her certain medications. I'm realizing like, damn, this good ass food we grew up eating, this I'm talking about fresh, right? This shit we get is killing us. And it was fed to me by the people that love me. I had to change my viewpoint. I had to change and confront. This ain't nothing that somebody did to me. This was in me to eat and behave this way. What's wrong with you? Not really go. I had to unlearn and relearn, grow myself up. Decide how I want my life to be. And guess what? The food still tastes good, so I got to have certain discipline. It's familiar to me. It wasn't until I learned about psychology as to why it's like, okay, damn, you informed yourself, but you still eating certain shit. Going back to what's familiar to me. You got to start to be... You got to start to get in a space where you're willing to confront certain things about yourself that it seems unnecessary to confront. It's easy to confront when somebody else got you fucked up. Somebody else said something or did something that you don't like. But what about the stuff that you do that you shouldn't like? Do y'all understand what I'm explaining?
Yeah.
It's hard accountability. It don't feel it good. It makes you disconnect from what you're so comfortable and so familiar with.
Yeah. And with that, I want to say I got pay attention part 1, and I went through it before, but as I joined the book club, I went through it again and started reworking some of that stuff. So.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something else, Spencer. You know, when I'm talking about certain things that happen naturally within us and you have to intentionally like confront it, imitating and modeling, it is something that happens as a baby. The way that and it's a survival thing. The way that we learn to survive is we look at those that are already surviving and has lived, before us, and we copy what they do. And so when you understand this, you realize how much your environment plays an effect on who and what you are. The way that you think, how you behave, the stuff that you believe is moving, the stuff that you don't. And so when you understand this, you realize like, I have to give a fuck about who I have around me. I have to give a damn about what they got going on. Not all up in their personal business, but their character, what they're willing to experience, what they're willing to have around. Because these things, whether I want to admit it or not, it affects me naturally. Anybody ever hung around for somebody or a group of people in a season of your life and you realize you start acting like them? Or you have certain ways about yourself based on dealing with them?
Yeah, you start to model like their verbiage, like the little things that they may say, some of the things that they may do.
Yeah.
You become a reflection of them.
Yep. Relationships have a crazy way of putting that mirror in front of you. All while disagreeing with what the other person is doing, you'll start to see yourself change, right? To match what they got going on. This is why I always say, if you claim you with somebody toxic, you need to start looking at the toxic shit that's going on with you.
Nice.
If you feel like someone's narcissistic or they're doing this to you and that, you need to start looking at why is it that they were able to do that to you. Looking at an ex or looking at a past relationship can tell you a lot about you.
Yeah. Indeed.
I had a conversation with one of y'all and we talked about, being around people or being in a relationship with people or a person that they constantly criticizing and critiquing what you are and what you need to fix and things like that. Now, what does that say about you? Because everybody is not in their energy and in their vibration inviting of people to come critique and criticize, even if it's constructive, what the fuck they got going on. There are a lot of us that people, truly believe that has to be invited directly or they have to earn a certain spot to be able to talk to us like that. Why is it that that's not the case with you? Ask yourself about the insecurities that you have and that show. Because this even goes for somebody like me, right? You don't just go around and as soon as you connect with somebody, start telling them what they need to fix about themselves and what's wrong in their household or what, unless they're a certain type of person. Weak. Do y'all understand what I'm explaining?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, so you saying there's something wrong with you when you tell another person about themselves?
No.
And you kind of
What
run
I'm
it back.
saying is I've done one-on-one sessions and counsel people through situations in their life where they're dealing with people constantly telling them what they need to do. Criticizing them about how they run their household, how they parent, what they got going on, what they need to change about themselves, right? And most of their attention is on how it feels to hear these things. I'm saying the attention needs to be on why is it that this person come into your life and feel comfortable to do this? Because they don't do that to everybody.
So, Dorsey, can you elaborate on that? Because I'm someone that people comment on my life often, and I find myself always saying like, that ain't got nothing to do with you, and so it's never the same person. So obviously, like you said, it's something that I'm inviting. But each time that it's somebody new where they feel like they can comment on something that I'm not open, or willing to discuss, I'll have to say like, that ain't nothing that you asked me. You may talk with your friends about that, but you don't ask me that.
So when you look at your schedule and your ways about yourself, what you do with your time, what are you attracted to talking about, what voids are not being fulfilled by you, what deficiencies does your inner child still have that you haven't seen about, these things determine how you show up, right? And so a lot of y'all have been in a space where when you show up in conversations, you oftentimes bring up your business or certain things that you're doing or personal stuff that you're trying to overcome. And it is inviting of people to make comments or critique or criticize or give you their 2 cents on what they believe that you should do. A lot of y'all, you lack the resources or you don't see the value in things like therapy to where you have a confidential space to go spew off all of the things that you worry about or certain stuff. And so it shows on you. It shows on you as you go out and you interact. And this is what invites, right? This is what has you vibrating on the frequency of inviting other people to come in who has their eyes outward and they want to tell you about you and your business. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Gina, do you understand what I'm saying?
I think so. I'm trying to apply what you're saying directly to me. But
if you don't have, so for example, if Mia, are you talking to us?
Yes, I was about to say something, but I was letting you finish.
Oh, go ahead, baby.
I was going to say, isn't this like the live you did when you said people are quick to say that's none of your business, but yet they're doing things that have something to do with you, such as they might be sharing information or getting you involved in drama because they got things going on in their life and it flows into your business, or they're asking you for money and it flows into it getting into your business.
The question to ask yourself is, when I show up in conversations with these people at the times that these things like Gina expressed are happening, what was I doing? What was I talking about? What is my conversation like? These are the things we haven't like evaluated. Does this make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So maybe I need to give an example to better understand. I don't celebrate holidays. And so, at work, my coworkers may say, hey, Gina, what you doing this weekend? I say, oh, nothing. I'm a chill. I'm whatever I'm gonna do. I'm gonna bake a cake. It don't matter, whatever I say. And I'm like, oh, so you just really don't celebrate Valentine's Day? I mean, you've been with your man for a long time. No, I don't. Well, are you Muslim, or why you don't celebrate? What do that got to do with you? What you doing this weekend? So it's like I didn't initiate the conversation about what anybody's plans was this weekend. But when I said I'm just going to chill and it's Valentine's weekend, it's like that's just wow, you're just so interesting. You don't celebrate Valentine's? It's like,
But have y'all had conversations?
I get into that.
But those are, so what you're describing are casual conversations where people are interested in your difference of a lifestyle or difference of viewpoint, right? Ask yourself, in the workspace, right? You nurtured those relationships with those people for them to feel comfortable to say that to you, for them to feel comfortable to ask you some of the questions that you may believe to be intrusive. Do you understand that? Like you teach people how to treat you based on what you tolerate. And so some of those things are being asked because from the very beginning, when a person started to make the small talk or take the conversation into a direction of your personal life, you made them believe that that's okay. And so now that it has progressed into different topics, right, you invited that. There are people on your job and every other job where nobody don't really know nothing about them, because they don't entertain the conversations on that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some of the things that, similar to what Gina's saying, we may not want to happen. We don't confront that there are things within us that invite these things to go on. When I educated myself on the intrusiveness within our community and within our culture, it helped me stand on boundaries more. And I'm gonna tell y'all what I mean, right? Things like what Gina said. I've had people walk up to me and ask me certain things about my personal life or what I have going on. I shut it down the first time. And like I said, I educated myself on the intrusiveness of our community, right? We will ask questions like, well, how many kids you got? Or what y'all doing for Christmas? Or you still work at that one place? How much they pay you? Or you still with that one dude? How long y'all been together? Right? These questions to the average person seem harmless. I'm just trying to make small talk. Depending on who you are and what you want for your life and what you don't want to have to deal with or do, you have to set the standard for what type of conversation a person brings to you. So for me, when I informed myself about how intrusive my community can get, and I decided how I want info or what kind of info to be brought to me or what type of conversations I want to have, I set things up with what I respond to, conversations I involve myself in based on what I want. And so for a while, people notice, and sometimes it takes more than one time, they notice like, love really ain't gonna pay your ass no mind unless you got an opportunity or unless you sharing some information about something or unless you are genuinely approaching her in support of what she's working on. Other than that, I will look at you while you asking stuff, walk the fuck off, or from a space of just telling you, why does this matter? I will make you look at yourself. I expressed to y'all one time, I was getting my hair done in the hair salon with a previous hairstylist I used to go to, and we were having a conversation, we debating on certain points, and I noticed that she had an attraction to people telling her their business. And so it fucked the conversation up when I flat out just simply asked, why do you care so much? Why are you so attracted to people telling you their business? And you could tell it immediately made her uncomfortable, right? The type of shit she liked to talk about had to do with stuff that people told her. And I could tell she wasn't aware of this within herself. I don't like to talk about shit like that. I like to talk about things that will inform me of things that I can use to go take action to better my life or myself or take advantage of an opportunity. A lot of people lack the self-awareness, right? Jobs. If I worked where Gina worked, right? The viewpoint from these people to me would probably be that I am like cold and standoffish unless you talking about some shit that got to do with the things that I just described. Because I don't care for you to know anything about me, right? I don't, there are things in regards to my personal life and myself and stuff that I know about me that it ain't necessary for me to connect with people based on this. And some of us, we haven't grown to that space yet where you realize there are ways to truly connect and be friends with somebody without ever mixing your personal. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? And this is when you get into higher value relationships where you notice that there are people that they don't know much of anything about each other's personal lives, but they discuss a lot and they are very close in regards to business, in regards to politics, in regards to religion or spirituality, in regards to parenting and being resourceful within the community.
So, love, what does a conversation look like shutting that down? Like, if somebody say, you know, like, oh, how much you make at that job? You know, I'm just trying to find out, you know, because I'm trying to see if I should work there. How would you?
I don't discuss my finances with people. And so, you know, I would then direct them towards a resource where they can find out what that job pays.
Okay.
And when you, I'm going to tell you something. It's truly you confronting what you're attracted to, because when you learn this, you stop asking people intrusive questions. Do y'all understand what I'm explaining? It ain't about private or secretive. It is about necessary or unnecessary. Remember I told y'all, shit ain't about how hard something is. It's about how necessary. When I grew up, I realized there is a lot of unnecessary shit I talk about as an adult with other people that it ain't necessary for them either. We be on the phone talking about unnecessary ass shit, and the shit be entertaining. It be funny. It be fulfilling of the flesh at the time. But none of this shit is what's necessary when we look at our life and tally the fuck up. I don't got no business sitting around wasting time talking about this, and neither do they. Even when it comes, I'm going to tell you something, and you know, we don't talk about this enough, especially within our community. Even when it comes down to money, right? Most people, when we talk about jobs and like the conversation we having, most people think what matters most is what they paying you, right? But truly, what matters most is your ability to be aware of self and stay disciplined. What will motivate you to stay disciplined and in a space of self-awareness? Now, most people will say money, the dollar amount that you're going to pay me. But historically, in most people's lives, that proves to be untrue. Do y'all understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know how many people done got fired because they can't come to work on time at a job that pays well? You know how many people have quit a job that pays well because there were certain things that went on internally within the job that didn't sit right with them, or certain people at the job that made them feel some type of way? On a surface level, it sounds good to make it seem like it's all about money, right? But the earnings of large amounts with the missing of the information to manage the large amounts of money to fund the lifestyle leaves a lot of people in a space of going back to lower paying positions all the time. When you have the skills to truly manage and invest money, it's not always about what's going to pay me the largest amount of money. It's about what opportunity or what job is going to bring in the consistent amount of money that fits the budgeting structure I have for my life, that allows me to invest in the things that...
If I had $100, I wouldn't invest it in no stocks. I would take that $100 and stack it till I got $1,000. And once I got $1,000, I would try to deploy $500. And the reason why is because if I had $100, emotionally I'm gonna be so tied to that $100, I needed to do the right thing. Whereas if I give myself $1,000 and then invest $500, I would have $500 in the market, I would have $500 on the side, I wouldn't be as crest, the emotion and the psychology changes, and I would keep adding to that $500. And then I would tell myself, every time I got to $1,000, I would invest some $500 of that. And then once I had my 3 stocks that I wanted to get, every time I got into that, I would say, once I get 2 of each one of those, now I will upgrade to what I had when I had 1,500. I would now, every time I have 1,500, I will invest 1,000 or something like that. Where I would give myself a system to fall in. That way, I'm not trying to invest with a hot $500 or a hot $100. I'll have money in the market and still have money on the sideline. And I will follow that, and I would just keep letting myself step up as I go, man. That's how I will play the game.
She behaved like a hoe, or she this or she that. Those things were true for that version of yourself. You just don't want to hear that. Even you had an issue.
Oh, it's not love. I'm sorry.
Even you had an issue with who and what you used to be because you decided to change it. And so what we don't like to accept is that some people are still in the headspace of us being the version of ourselves that they knew, right? We want so bad for people to exceed and accept the growth. And that's not the case the majority of the time. The reality of it is, whatever my experience was with you is the most valid to me. It is the most vivid to me. It is the most trustworthy aspect or version of you that I have to go off of. I'm going to go with what I know. And what I know is, when I used to fuck with you, you operated like a hoe. And maybe I was hoeing too. So I knew that you had this type of attraction or these type of character traits. Do y'all see where I'm going with this?
From the person, because they operate in that space that y'all once used to operate in. Y'all probably used to go back and forth. You probably was going back and forth with them tit for tat, saying these things. And now
I ain't even talking about the back and forth. What I'm saying, I'm challenging y'all to look back at older versions of yourself and look at the facts of how you were. Take the feelings out.
Yeah,
and just
you
look
right,
at the
love.
facts of the type of shit that you used to do. Think about this. Think about the ways that person got you. Because
that was the unhealed version of me.
Yes, if we go back to the relationships with our exes and with your baby daddy or your baby mama, it's even from a male aspect as well. The things that they saying about you is true for the version of you that they know. And if you accept this, yes. And if you accept this, it allows you to be able to process and not be so emotional about the shit that's being said, because the stuff is true for that version of you. It may not be true now. And these are things that, especially when you're raising children, it's important to give them clarity on this. But when you're emotional, when you got the guilt and shame, when you're trying to suppress the fucked up ways that you used to have about yourself, like you don't want nobody to know, you don't want your kids to know, right? It makes everything that's going on now confusing. And when stuff is confusing that's going on externally, right, outside of the child, but in the household, but happening to them, but in front of them, they are left to assume why it is going on. And the way that the human mind works with development of the human brain, when you go through the stages of a child's brain developing, they internalize the stuff. So if I don't truly understand certain dynamics of why my mom and my dad act like this, I will start to feel like I wasn't good enough for a 2-parent household, or I wasn't worthy enough to have my mother and my father interact with me from a loving space, or it starts to be about me because ain't nobody giving me no motherfucking clarity.
Okay.
Yeah, and that goes on with like when my sister, my half sister, she got 6 kids by 6 different men, and now her kids asking her why they all got different daddies, and she don't want to tell them. She like, y'all last name Gladden. I'm y'all daddy. She don't want to tell her kids who they daddy is. So
let me talk about my mama. My mama was a good mama. She did the best she could. I'll say that.
the boys
It's very dangerous. That's very dangerous.
Yes, and I told her that they need to know who their father is, because one of them, she got epilepsy real bad, and that's not on our side of the family. You know what I'm saying? Her side. So it got to be her daddy's side. So a lot of times our kids, once they get older, they start asking us questions about our behavior. They start asking us questions about why we thought about doing it that way, and we'll lie to them. So then when they get older, they'll learn that lie. Like, I got a sister that she got a baby and got 2 daddies. She told that boy he had 2 fathers. So all while he growing up, he don't even know who his daddy is, because she always told him he had 2 daddies. You can only have one. So it's what we tell our children of our shame, our embarrassment. We don't want to say this is what happened. You know, we were young. We didn't know no better. That's just like our parents told us not to have sex, but they didn't tell us why.
Right, but sometimes it ain't that I was young and I ain't know no better. Sometimes I knew better. I knew better, and the sex felt good. I knew better. I ain't have no self-control. I knew better. Me and your dad ain't have no sexual discipline. That's why we laid up and had these many kids that don't match the amount of money that we make. This is the truth that, I speak on often that makes people uncomfortable because, quite frankly, in our community, we don't like to talk like this, but this is the reality of what's going on. Auntie so-and-so got that amount of kids because she was loose.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. We tell our kids that we didn't know no better, when in actuality we knew better. We just tell our kids that because I guess we be shamed. We be embarrassed about that type of stuff.
It's an out to get away from accountability, right? It's hard to process guilt and shame when you grow up without tools or anybody ever supporting your journey of understanding your emotions and that feelings are valid, but they are to be used, right? To understand how you're experiencing your environment. When you don't have these things, it becomes difficult. And so you get in a space where you run from accountability about the real shit. And this is why some people, it takes them to 50, 60 years old before they truly start to accept the reality of who they are. A lot of us, we don't like to be real.